it going, everyone? Hopefully you're having a good day today. Hopefully your weather is at least as nice as this. It's pretty nice today for here in northern Ohio. All kinds of crap going on that tells us that we're in the end, right? We got tornadoes in places they never used to be going on, chemicals in the sky, dirt falling out of the sky, all kinds of issues, right? Wars and rumors of wars, where we consider, we're being told, we're pulling our support from trying to bring peace to all these other places, but ignoring, meanwhile, that we bring Doge and we praise Doge for ending, for bringing to light a bunch of nonsense spending. And then we praise the fact that we're bringing peace. But what we're ignoring is that, meanwhile, the side that's trying to pretend to be righteous and they're voting for, telling us they want to bring the budget down, but then sitting there voting for a huge budget in the same breath, right? And being told we're about bringing peace, Meanwhile, we're funding and financing atrocities that we want to ignore, right? Stuff going on in Africa, we're funding it. Stuff going on with it's hard to be able to talk about some of this stuff because of all the censorship and stuff. But, the small hat nation, we continue to fund their atrocities and, act like that's our duty, right? We want to pretend that we're the Christian nation, so therefore we have to support that other nation, which is, in today's world, founded on lies, right? We don't understand the real truth behind all that. And what's going on, we think because we're Christians, we should support this other nation that, because they believe, that's God's land. But meanwhile, ignoring God's ways, right? And meanwhile, that specific nation is murdering Christians, right? We're not their friend. They use us. And we got clips that, let's not keep going on and on about that. But today I want to consider Proverbs 3. Hopefully soon enough, I'll have it where we can just sit down and open it up, or maybe I'll do it on a live and go over it. But just read Proverbs 3. Looks like we had a tree fall down. And consider it. It's about wisdom, right? Gaining wisdom. And my point about that is because we have the rulers of our communities are all a member of a certain big club. I mentioned them, and then I end up getting hit pretty hard. Who cares? The Masons, right? And these people believe that they're above the rest of us, that they're the righteous ones, and that they gain some kind of secret knowledge. And they search out, and you can look this up, it's open knowledge about it. They search out the wisdom of Solomon, right? the keys of Solomon. I think 7 keys. I forget what it is, but the keys of Solomon. Because they say Solomon's the wisest man. And there's good argument for that. Solomon had wisdom. He chose to ask God for wisdom. And in return, because that was a very wise thing to do to begin with, God blessed him abundantly. However, what they ignore is that Solomon fell, right? Fell into temptation, fell away from God. And I'm not saying he, went to hell or nothing like that, but he realized this as he was dying, and then he wrote these books of wisdom found in the Bible, right? Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, and then there's a few other ones that are left out of the King James version, some other versions, right? But, I'm not taking away, yes, Solomon was very wise, and that was very wise of him to ask God for wisdom. Well, meanwhile, times have changed, and we don't realize that the actual wisest person to be on earth was Jesus Christ, right? He had the wisdom of God himself, right? Chill out. No one's wiser than Jesus Christ. Not Solomon, not anyone, right? And these groups that act against us and think they own and control the world, they don't believe in Jesus Christ. They claim they do. Oh, well, we have Christians and all these other religions that are members, and you got to believe in one ultimate God, right? But they don't, there's no specific, it don't have to be the God, just you have to believe in a superior God, right? Well, there's only one superior God. And if you're not praising him, then like it or not, any other God, you're praising Satan. And this is who they are. These are the people who act against us. And as I've said before, you can watch my videos and see how corrupt these people are, because these are the ones who acted against me. Who are setting out to have the wisdom of Solomon, right? And that's their main person is Solomon. And, there's levels to it, stuff like that. But my point is, so they think they are the righteous ones, and they have some kind of secret knowledge that the rest of us don't. And that's a lie, and we need to understand that. But you need to understand that most of your cops, your lawyers, your judges, prosecutors, all these people in high positions are members of this. And that's what they go for, okay, right? Gold and riches is their end goal, right? That's what they praise. And you can see that with our president. He very much is a Mason, and he's full of himself, and he wants all this acknowledgement for him. He wants to be self-praised, and wants us to praise him, right? And you can have Christians argue with you on that. But look, he's kissed the wall. He's made clear whose side he chooses, right? And all of them do. Even our FBI director that's in there that people want to praise, right? What do these people say? You can ask them. And they have nothing to do with world politics. A lot of these positions, their position is to protect America, right? But yet their priority number one is safety of Israel, right? That'd probably get me nicked for saying that. And I'm not here to, for anyone watching my channel, I'm no better than you and nothing like that, right? And it's easy to be fooled or to not see this stuff, because they do this stuff in secret, their workings. And, these are the people controlling all our communities. I guarantee wherever you're living here in America, your community that you live in, you go out to the outskirts of your city limits and you'll see a sign somewhere for the Masons. And then certain other groups that are connected or offshoots of the Masons, right? But you look at their workings, who they are, how they act, and you will see clearly that they are not worried about the teachings of Jesus, God himself, right? They're worried about the teachings of Solomon, the riches of Solomon. That's what they want, right? They don't want heavenly riches. They want earthly riches, worldly acknowledgement. And God told us the God of this world is Satan, right? And these are the dirty people that are running our society, directing our society to whichever way they want it to go. And it's happened for generations. But let's consider, but with that being said, I'm not taking away from the actual wisdom of Solomon. We need to understand the true story of Solomon. Okay, he had all this wisdom. He was blessed greatly with all these riches and all this other stuff, right? But along the way, he took on many wives, and those wives, many of them, led him astray from the actual will of God. This is all fact, right? You have to read it for yourself to find out. My focus, I want you to focus today on, right, take a little bit at a time, a bite at a time. So Proverbs 3, because that's about wisdom, getting wisdom, understanding the value of true wisdom, which is along that way is living a righteous life, right? Righteousness is true righteousness is very hard to come into, right? You got to strive for it. Let's consider this wise man, Solomon, not in Proverbs 3, but later on, he tells us about the heart of women, right? And if you read through the Bible, and this is not to pick on women, I got to put that out there. I'm not saying men are that much any better or nothing like that. But God created this world to work in a certain way. From the very beginning, he created woman to be the mate of the man. Because of all the things created, man had no true companion. So he created woman, right? The devil knew this, and the devil went straight to the woman. A woman's heart can very well be led astray by the devil very easily. This is, you just look through history, this is how it is. And the man gets himself tied to and falls in love with the woman. And, so the devil leads the woman astray, which in turn leads the man astray. And then you look through the Bible, a woman's supposed to submit to her man, submit to the will of her man, and be led by her man. And that's true, okay? But on the other end of that, the man has a duty to seek out righteousness, to live in a righteous way, to live in a way pleasing and commanded by God. Now, if that man does not do that and does not do his duty to keep control of the situation, then they are both wrong. And if he does not watch himself, he will be led astray or fooled or attacked by the woman in one form or another, right? This all comes together eventually. I talk about my situation a lot. Let's get into my situation a little bit here. I got certain people locally, right, that hear my stuff and they're, oh, well, you know, like as if the law had the right to do to me what they did, and they absolutely did not. And what they did is just horrendous and went way farther than they're allowed to, but they believe they are the masters of the universe, right? They believe they hold all the righteousness, and everyone else is below them, right? They believe they are above me and I am below them. We'll see in the end. We'll see come judgment day. I'm not saying I'm above anyone, right? But we'll see just how these unrighteous people who pretend to be righteous, we'll see what the truth is in the end. Their day will come. That's the truth. God will sort it all out. And those days are coming very soon. Right? But so let's consider this. Point is to consider the wisdom of Solomon. Read through Proverbs 3. But then understand this. As Christians, we need to understand that God is the ultimate wisdom, not Solomon, right? And these forces that control our society, Masons and other groups, right? As I said, they bank on the wisdom of Solomon. They think they got hidden knowledge, and they're seeking out the hidden knowledge of Solomon, the hidden magic and wisdom of Solomon for riches and worldly gain. And that's what they're in control of, worldly things, and they're going after worldly riches, which as Christians, if we truly understand the Bible, we understand that God tells us that's not going to get us anywhere. And that who's in charge of who's the God of this world is Satan. I discussed that in the previous video, right? But we need to understand that this is what the Bible teaches us. And I don't claim I'm smarter than anyone or have any greater wisdom than anyone watching, right? I'm just trying to share the ways that I understand it. And, you know, there's different things goes on that I count on God to guide me and lead me. I strive for righteousness. It ain't, when we get in my situation, when I get into some other things I'm going to reveal, I'll probably save that for the next video, right? But you understand also, when you go back to the wisdom of Solomon, the teachings about the heart of a woman, of a misled woman, I should say, right? Which is many, right? That he set out in his time through all the world, and he set out to take a number. This is later on, this is not from Proverbs 3, but it is from Solomon. Maybe it's Ecclesiastes, but I don't want to quote it wrong. But he set out to take a number of all the people to find out who are the real righteous people. And of them, of the men, he found only 1 out of 1,000 men were righteous. And of the women, he found none out of all of them, right? So, but what we gain from that, if we want to understand his wisdom and teachings, what's to be gained from that is that that's how we have to strive for. We have to, as a man, I have to strive to be that 1 out of 1,000, right? As a woman, you have to strive to be that 1 out of the rest. It's a hard job, right? And I don't claim like I'm more righteous than anyone. I'm worried about myself and how God sees me, not the rest of the world, right? So I strive for that righteousness according to God. It's not easy, right? To this day, I'm okay. When we get into my situation later about some stuff I'm going to reveal, what happened through my relationship that got me into this predicament. I did not cheat, right? I did everything to do right by her, to be a righteous man in God's eyes, righteous to her, right? And it doesn't mean I didn't fail in some areas, but I didn't cheat. But ultimately, I would get accused of it. And then come to find out that she was the one cheating behind my back. And you don't find that out till it's way too late, when they play these games acting like they are more righteous and above you, right? And that's the first mistake of a man. First of all, you have to strive to be a righteous man in the sight of God. And if you are not, then you need to fix yourself, right? Because you got no right to complain about anything that goes wrong until you're willing to strive for that righteousness in God's eyes. Not man's eyes, God's eyes. Not what's acceptable to man, but what's acceptable or not to God. And that's what I've strived for. Therefore, I did not cheat, but it didn't keep me from a few minor situations. We'll get into that later. But the point is, I understood that, right? And as I said, that don't make me better or anything. I'm just trying to give you understanding where I'm coming from and how things went. And ultimately, when you understand my whole story, then it helps you understand where I'm coming from and where maybe it's something we could all, others could learn from. But let's back up now. Okay, so our authorities who acted against me, who are all Masons, they seek out the wisdom of Solomon. And some of this is going on because I was, a video popped up on my YouTube. And so I watched it because I forgot what the title was. If I can find it, maybe I'll put it in there, or maybe not, because it was actually from a Mason. The Masons are on this kick, on this drive to gain more members, and they're trying to dispel rumors that they worship Satan and stuff like that. So they bring this guy out who's low-level Masons, and I assure you the low-level Masons do not know what they're involved in. And I know some personally that have found out the hard way. They won't come out and talk about it because they're still a part of them, but they found out the hard way what's really going on within, and they're afraid to leave or whatever, right? And actually, most of them are afraid to even speak with me because I'm an enemy to them. They have marked me as an enemy. But this guy comes out saying, oh, he's a Christian, and you can be a Christian or this other religion, and ultimately you got to believe in one ultimate creator God, right? But they don't tell you who that God is. Because if we understand the true Christian God, then you understand that there's no acceptance of the rest. It don't mean you go to war with them or cause harm to them or nothing else, but you do not intermingle with them. You do not be unequally yoked. You do not sit here and pretend to be righteous with unrighteousness. Because if you do not praise the one true God, then you are unrighteous. Okay, so they lead people straight, and a lot of Christians don't realize this. The true wisdom is Jesus Christ. He is the Word made to flesh, right? This is the true wisest man on earth, not Solomon. And as I said, I'm not trying to take away from the wisdom of Solomon. It is very... it's a good deal wealthy knowledge there for the wisdom of Solomon. But you got to understand the story of Solomon, right? And to understand where he failed, how he failed. And that's what I'm trying to get at right now. Okay, so all these people ruling over us, whether it be on the low levels of society or way up at the top, they are a part of this group, and they search out after the wisdom of Solomon. And then they tell us, well, it's okay to be Christian and join and all this and that. Well, you're not, you're stepping away from your true Christian values once you do that, because now you're searching for the greatest wisdom, and you're given the keys of Solomon, and you're acting like Solomon's some kind of God, right? And that's wrong, and we're not to be doing that. And So they, in the end, when you do that, you will be pulled away. That's the story of Solomon. When you intermingle with unrighteousness, pretending that it's some righteousness, you will be pulled away from God. And that's what goes on within the Masons, right? And then they act like they have some kind of authority over you. But that's today's point. The point is, as Christians, understand this. You do not discount the wisdom of Solomon, but when you're reading that, understand his story, right? Because there is a lot of great wisdom there, but you got to understand that wisdom, and you got to understand who's even wiser than Solomon was Jesus Christ, right? We are to go by ultimately the teachings and expectations given to us through Jesus Christ, not Solomon. So as I said, read through Proverbs chapter 3. And, it tells you about the gloriousness of gaining wisdom and seeking it out and holding on to it. And this is from a man who has fallen and, had to reflect and give the story of the things he found to be true. He never told everyone to turn against God like the godless people controlling our society, right? And the point is, so you read through that, understanding it, and then also understand the teachings of Jesus Christ. And then you will gain even more appreciation for the wisdom shared by Solomon. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate it very much. We appreciate your comments very much. And I'll put together a part 2 for this, and we'll get a little deeper into my situation that I haven't shared yet. Anyways, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep all of his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. See you.